All right. Um, we are going to get this show on the road. So every one of these that we do, we like to start with a fun little icebreaker. Previous ones authored by me have been, what was your first job, as an example. This one, we're going to go a little bit of a different direction. If you could please type in the chat, what is one hobby or skill that you always wanted to pick up but never did? I joked with my colleagues that I was going to say rodeo clown. However, that's not accurate. For me personally, I would say probably playing the guitar. We've got reading books. It's never too late to pick up the hobby of reading a book. I'll tell you. I wanted to be Van Gogh. Okay. Guitar. Yeah, I played guitar when I was a kid, but I cheated in guitar lessons when it came to reading music. My guitar instructor had glasses, and I could see the reflection of the notes that I was supposed to be learning how to read in her reflection. And so she would try and quiz me on what note it was I was reading, and I would give her the answer based on the reflection in her glasses. So I didn't set myself up for actually learning anything. Yeah. All right, awesome, Raj. If you want to, well, Raj, well, how about what hobby would you want to have picked up, Raj? You're You're muted, Raj. Oh, okay. Raj wants to become a pilot. All right. Well, Raj is cooler than the rest of us. So a quick agenda for what it is that we're going to be talking about today. We'll do brief introductions of myself and Raj, and then Raj is going to walk us through some deployment orchestration use cases. And Raj, I can you go back one so I can read the and then we're going to touch on the experience orchestration use cases, the releases that we've done in both categories in Q2. Go ahead, Raj. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is David Grant, and I'm a customer success manager here at AMC Technology. We're coming up on my 5th year that I've been here. Have a whole lot of fun talking to our current customers, our current partners, and learning about how we can find new and intriguing ways to continue working with you all. Raj, if you can introduce yourself.
Thank you, David. Good morning, everyone. I'm Raj Joshi. I've been with AMC for 13 plus years now. Wow, that's just 13 years. And I have been with AMC in different roles, and currently I'm the development or engineering manager, and I oversee the engineering team. So, David, if that's okay.
Excellent. Yeah. So before Raj gets kicked off here, I just want to mention that we want this to be collaborative. We want to hear your questions. We want to read your questions. So whether or not you unmute yourself and ask a question while Raj is presenting, or if you place your question in the chat, we'll make sure that we get it answered. So, Raj, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Once again, good morning, everyone. As David said, if you feel, if you have any questions or if you feel the need of any further discussion on any topic, feel free to stop me or type in your question in the chat and we will address that as we go. As part of the agenda, as we said, there are two kind of scenarios or use cases that we would want to address. And what we'd be covering today is the important or the critical use cases that we have released as a part of second quarter DaVinci release, and that is what we'd be covering today. As we all know, as you all have been with DaVinci for quite some time, DaVinci is an orchestration platform, as we say, orchestration platform. And the way we put it is that you can orchestrate your user experience, and that is when you say, the experience orchestration, or you can also orchestrate your deployment of orchestration solution, and that is when we call deployment orchestration use cases. Now, one of the um, core thing at the crux of the deployment orchestration is they want data protection and trust and security. That's very important for DaVinci. And every quarter at AMC, what we do is we conduct a self-penetration test, and that is, to dynamic and automated and static scanning and going through the results based on OAS principles. But on an annual basis, we also conduct a third-party penetration test for ensuring that we are up to the expectations of our customers and also maintain security and compliance. So in the second quarter is when we completed our annual penetration test for both DaVinci's Creator Studio, that is the administration tool from where you can manage your applications and do your orchestration, and the DaVinci agent, wherein your agent, that's the agent experience that is presented to your agents. So that's an annual exercise, and we just completed it. If you want any details about this, the certificate, or any detailed report about the annual penetration testing, you can always reach out to your CSM, and they should be able to share that with you. David, you are on mute, by the way.
Sorry about that. Any regular security questions that you guys may have, please feel free to ask Susanna, who is the other AMC customer success manager, or myself. And if we don't know the answers, we will absolutely source them for you. But we take security incredibly seriously. So we have a question in the chat. Raj, they're asking if it would be okay for us to share who it is that our third-party penetration testing vendor is.
Yes, it's ASTRA, Astra, a third-party vendor, security vendor. And if you look at the certificate, it does talk about the third-party vendor who has conducted the testing.
Excellent. Any other questions on the topic of security, compliance, and our penetration testing before Raj moves on? Okay. I think you're good, Raj.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And so let's move on to our second, bucket, or we call the experience orchestration use cases, wherein you can orchestrate your agent experience, your agent user experience, the way you have been, the way you can interact with various other applications, various other platforms. And I know that, lately we have been talking about many themes that are in line with artificial intelligence, Gen AI, agent assist. And so at AMC, we started, in the last seminar, quarterly seminar. I know that Praveen, who is our CTO, he must have talked about AMC, we enabling transcript for some of our cloud channels, for example, Microsoft Teams, and using that real-time transcript coming from Teams to drive our agent assist features, agent assist use cases, using Gen AI LLMs. For example, you can use next best action. You can use article recommendation. You can find knowledge. You can search knowledge bases. And what we did at AMC is took this to a different level. We have many customers who are with Avaya and Cisco enterprise platforms, and in this quarter, what we achieved is achieving real-time transcription capabilities for Avaya and Cisco enterprise platforms. And from an agent experience perspective, what it does is, getting the transcript from this, using this on this platforms is just one side of the story. What it really does make a difference is when you can use that real-time transcript to drive various agent assist use cases using various Gen AI platforms. We currently use Azure OpenAI as the Gen AI platform that we currently have. And but that is something that you can always, depending on what exactly you at your environment have been using, you can opt to select your Gen AI platform. You don't have to limit to Azure OpenAI. You can talk about ChatGPT or any other Gen AI platform or LLM that you want to use. Some of the use cases that uh, we have seen customers and we trying out with as we develop this AI enabled features and use cases are using next best action, wherein based on the transcript and the prompt that you have configured, you give an action, you give the next best action to an agent. Article recommendation, that is another thing that basically expedites your agent's response, hereby decreases your agent's call handling time. We have also have seen customers using that for summarizing your entire call. You can also use that for sentiment analysis. You can also use that for PII masking. So there's a lot of agent assist features that can actually be driven using this real-time transcript and interaction data. So I'd like to take a pause. I know that this is something that a lot of people have questions around it. And I know we have a lot of exciting things coming up on this side of the AI driven use cases. And so I'd like to take a pause and see if anyone has any questions. If not, I will continue to talk about this.
So the title says infusing AI into your contact center. Are we saying that how we can leverage these into our existing contact center platform or into DaVinci or AMC's custom pattern software?
Well, your Avaya and Cisco enterprise platforms are your own, right? Those are your existing contact center infrastructure. What we have been doing using in DaVinci, using Azure services, Azure Cognitive Services, we use that to take your voice and then voice stream to get transcript off of it, and then using that transcript, using DaVinci as a platform, as an orchestration platform, we use that transcript to, you know, funnel that through a Gen AI platform, depending on your choice, and then get those results.
Okay. Okay, makes sense. And the question is it limited right now to Avaya and Cisco or other contact center solutions that DaVinci is partnered with?
So we currently have one cloud channel with the Teams. We have Avaya and Cisco Enterprise Platform, and we are working on a couple of other channels as well. So in case you have any interest in if you have any interest in any specific platform, do reach out to Susanna or David, and we should definitely have that conversation, I would say.
Thank you.
And the other thing that I would like to talk about, I know, David, you have been reaching out to your customers and partners about an AI starter kit. Again,
Yes.
customers who are interested to talk about how exactly to utilize AI as you stand today with your infrastructure, please reach out to David and Susanna. They should be able to talk to you about the AI starter kit, which basically has minimal investment from your side, and how exactly it gives you some time to look at the difference that or the returns on investment from an AI perspective. And but yes, that is something that you should definitely reach out to your CSN on.
Now, Raj, I know in talking to a lot of my customers, one question that comes across is what is the best practice for saving the transcript? Is it possible right now with DaVinci to save the transcript into depending on the CRM, the customer interaction record, into the activity? Are we able to do that with all of the CRMs that we have pre-built applications for, or is there work to be done there?
So, David, again, customer transcript, as you all know, this is like PII. We take security. We take security into consideration when saving the transcript. And in some of the CRMs that we have been working on, some of the CRMs have more, I would say, have inbuilt capability to save transcript. Some of the CRMs we have been like working on, but our preference is saving the transcript inside CRM itself, and not in a third system. And that basically takes care of security and customers' concern about how exactly those transcripts are being used.
Excellent. But let's say that there is a customer, because I've come across this a couple different occasions. If there's a customer that wishes to save the transcript elsewhere, let's say hypothetically a customer was going on the endeavor to create their own self-service sort of tool. Would they be able to save the transcripts elsewhere? In this idea, it would be transcripts that are run through Gen AI and are graded with, let's say, a grading of good call or something like that in this hypothetical. And they wanted to then, once they build up a database of transcripts, they wanted to then run those through their own LLM so that they could create their own self-service tool for their customers that they can be confident on the quality of the data that's been given. Is DaVinci a platform that could, with some work, enable that use case? Is that something that DaVinci could help orchestrate?
Yeah, excellent question, David. As we have already said, DaVinci is an event-driven orchestration platform, and what that means is the scenario that you just mentioned is a perfect orchestration use case wherein a customer can orchestrate this and try to, basically, based on the event-driven architecture of DaVinci, you should be able to take transcript once, and apply some PII masking rules, for example, so that
Sure.
you are not concerned about PII, and save it somewhere in a third system in a data lake or in a database or somewhere wherein you can then act on that transcript. So that is very possible, very much possible with DaVinci.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions on this point around transcription and the work we've done around Avaya and Cisco before we move on?
And I just want to highlight that the work that we have done on Avaya and Cisco on the channel side, this is applicable to all the CRMs. So if irrespective of the CRM that you have, obviously in terms of use cases or capability that a CRM has, obviously it will differ from one CRM to another, but you should be able to achieve a lot of orchestration use cases irrespective of the CRM that you have.
Excellent. We don't have any other questions in the chat so far as I can see. So ready to move on, Raj?
So the second one is obviously that I would want to touch on is the interactive experience creation that you just talked, David. If you happen to log into Studio, then you would see a lot of orchestration applications, orchestration apps. For example, you can use Power Apps. You can use Power Apps Copilot and AI Hub to orchestrate your business use cases. And this is all being driven from the real-time transcript and interaction data that DaVinci, the channel app that you are on, is going to send. So all I'm trying to stress on is that DaVinci as a platform, as an orchestration platform, allows you to orchestrate any kind of use cases utilizing other systems, for example, Power Automate or Power App or any LLM to tailor your functionalities, orchestrate your use cases driven by this transcript and interaction data. I just want to give you an example. We just recently had a customer who basically are working with us on voice biometrics, and how exactly we once the voice biometrics is is verified, the agent gets a prompt if the customer has been verified or not. and thus saving time, a lot of time for the agent to, the validation process is basically shortened when the agent sees that the customer is already validated. Again, a very personalized use case, but DaVinci with its event-driven architecture just makes it easy for you to achieve such a unique use case.
Raj, would something like sentiment analysis fall under this bucket?
Yes, and the beauty of it, David, as I said, is currently we have a app in DaVinci that will out of the box allow you to see how exactly sentiment analysis works. And the Gen AI platform that we have done this with is Azure OpenAI. Now,
Yep.
customers are open to use any Gen AI platform that they want. But what the two different ways that you can see is we have sentiment analysis on each and every transcript, every real-time transcript. So, for example, you have a customer who calls in, is very dissatisfied, angry because some work wasn't done, but a skilled agent comes in and is able to not only solve the customer's problem, but also give some kind of incentive to the customer. And you can see how exactly the sentiment of that customer changes from unhappy or angry to a happy customer. You can see the trend. And not only that, you can also apply sentiment analysis on any of those LLMs on the entire transcript as well. So there are various ways you can apply sentiment analysis. And not to worry, you can always apply the sentiment analysis after masking the PII so that your PII concerns and issues are taken care of.
Now, I have a sentiment analysis use case that I've sort of adopted as the hill I'm willing to die on, that I really want a customer of ours to try out. When I used to sell cars, you're given phone training, and on that phone training, you're taught, well, when somebody says this, you're supposed to say this, et cetera, et cetera. How do we know that actually works? A lot of it is just based on people telling you, well, that's how I was taught to do it. And so my idea, and any of you listening, if you want to adopt this, all I ask is for a Christmas card, a holiday card, something like that in return as thanks. But my idea is that you would actually be able to grade whether or not these things that you're training your contact center agents to say are landing the way that you want them to with the people that they're speaking to. So you have actual data to act upon other than, well, this is what we were trained to do. All of our customers spend a lot of time and energy training their agents, and not using some of these tools and leaving some of these possibilities on the table could be you could be in a way sort of shortchanging yourself and leaving a lot of potential ROI on the table, for sure.
And David, one more area that I want to address is that obviously you can drive your agent use cases, orchestration use cases based on real-time transcript. For example, agent, you have a customer who asks, call center wherein you have a lot of basic questions coming on, like how do I reserve a flight, for example, right? And
Yep.
those are things that are very generic, and sometimes the agent has to, navigate across different UIs, different systems to answer some of those questions. Um, Depending on exactly how connected your systems are, you can always automate some of those features. Or the beauty of one of the app that we have for Azure OpenAI is that not only can you drive some of those next best action based on real-time transcript, you can also the agent can also ask directed question in the same user interface on the same, rather than navigating to a third system or going to Google or going to a search engine or somewhere else and trying to search, um, you know, getting the answers. And I know that again, this is something which outside our realm. Like people do have talked about, how the effectiveness of this LLM, and I know that people are now working on training this LLMs on their data, on the data that is more suitable for their scenarios, to their use cases. Again, that is something that is outside the scope of this our work, because again, we utilize this LLMs to get or drive this transcript and some of this functionality that I've been talking about. But to increase effectiveness of your to increase effectiveness in your scenarios, people have been training their LLMs on their customer specific data to make it more effective. So there's a lot of things that can be done, with little to no, with little investment, I would say, and the ROI is huge. And this is something that customers should definitely try. I know that a few of them are, like just testing the water on some of the basic use cases as we
Yep.
go on.
Any questions around some of the interactive experience creation use cases and capabilities that Raj and I have discussed here? All right.
Okay.
Yep. Doesn't look like we have any.
So moving on to the next set of experience orchestration use case, which is about pre-built apps. We added 2 apps to our plethora of apps, the library of apps that we have in Studio. We did an integration. We now currently have an integration with the nice InContact CX1 platform, and this is again this has been integrated with all the CRM systems that we support currently, and you should be able to see that in Studio or talk to one of your CSM. As you can see in the presentation, it lists out all the CRMs that we currently, the nice InContact CX1 supports. What you get out of this is this: you should be able to get all kind of voice controls or agent controls with nice InContact CX1. Again, this is a very, very specific use case that is confined to nice InContact CX1 platform.
Excellent. Not seeing any questions on my end, Raj.
Okay. And then the last one that I have, the new integration that I was going to talk about is, and this is um, something that is very important for people, for contact centers who have an investment with Oracle Siebel. We have excuse me, we have now an app that integrates with Oracle Siebel client-side CTI. As you all know, as I'm not sure if everyone is aware of, but Siebel has released a client-side CTI suite of APIs. And what that means is DaVinci now interacts with that, the client-side CTI apps, client-side CTI API as well. What this allows, and this opens up the door for a lot of new things. One is now you can enable your Oracle Siebel CRM with any of the cloud channels. Okay, so that is something that has opened the door for a new area of integration with cloud channels. That is first thing. Second thing, I think in terms of modern technology, in terms of it enables us. Those of you who are aware of the server side CTI, the server side Siebel integration that we have, it's a server based install. It requires server based installation, and what that means is we have continuous deployment enabled on this in the Siebel client side application, which is it's a web application, and we should be able to deploy any kind of changes, any kind of hot fixes to any kind of changes to this Siebel client side CTI application. Makes it deployment much more easy for our customers. And obviously, this is something that has a much more user experience when it comes to multi-channel as well. This is something that we have just started working on, the multi-channel side of things, and I think it's just in terms of integration with cloud channels and multi-channel, it just has a completely different experience, I would say.
Awesome. Anybody have any questions around any of the pre-built app releases that we have introduced since Q2? All right. I'm not seeing any. Raj, thank you. Is there anything else?
Yeah. So David and everyone, this is obviously the most important things or the major things that we have released. We have, smaller minor changes that have been going out as well. As you all know, we have been deploying our changes on a monthly basis and send out an email to all our customers about that. We have a continuous deployment delivery model that we have at place for DaVinci apps. And so, if any of our customers have questions about the way we deploy our apps using continuous delivery model, then please reach out to Susanna or David, and they should be able to, walk you through how our deployment reduces the risk on your side because it does not directly affect the code that has been deployed in your production environment. Second, we also have, as I said, we have multiple minor changes that has been going out. Some of them are Dynamics applications that some of our customers have been using. There are changes in the Salesforce OpenCTI app, and a lot of changes also on the Salesforce Service Cloud Voice app as well. We also have changes on the Salesforce on the SAP V2, SAP Cloud V2, application as well. So again, we have, apart from these major changes that you are seeing in this presentation, we have a lot of minor changes that have gone out in some of those applications. And so if you have any questions on specific app, please reach out to the CSM and we should be able to provide you with more information or see how some of those things that we talked about can be applied to your CRM and channel of choice.
Awesome. Thank you, Raj. Anything else? Nothing else from you, Raj?
Nope, that's all that I have, David, from my side.
Awesome. So we will be doing this again next month. We'll have a different topic to be determined. So keep an eye on your inbox, and I'm sure Suzanne and I will follow up with you on what our topic and hosts will be for next month. But Raj, you're put back on the bench for the next 3 months, and we'll see you again for a Q3 release update. So thank you very much, sir.
And hopefully by then I would have, resumed my flying lessons. So you'll hear something.
Yes, Air Raj is something I definitely want to take a trip on soon. So that sounds great. All right, thanks everybody. We'll talk soon.